The time now is 7:27 7:30 p.m. I don't think people have the time to talk to themselves for a very long time. Like, how do you become this person that talk to yourself for a very long time? Right? You can just sit down in your room, or you can just sit in the hall and just think. No, you know why though? How does it happen? Is it because of prison? Is it because of isolation and captivity? I think it's due to captivity and isolation. Because what's there to talk about? Some people want to talk about work, want to talk about life. And some people talk a lot. It's not about who truly knows, because there are entities that truly knows. First entity will be God. God knows everything. Even before we were born, and the future and everything, right? That's called prediction. And now you have artificial intelligence and surveillance. And those days you have private investigators and spies and whatnot. So what I want to talk about, this is going to be hours and hours long. I was struggling, I was thinking. I was talking to myself. But it's just there and then, right? It's like looking into the mirror and talking to the mirror. It's like sitting down there and thinking and thinking and thinking. And this is like a diary. Like, this is the modern day diary. The modern day diary has a mirror that records, has an eye that records. It records. And you can look back. What if you were writing, right? You were writing a diary. A lot of people like to keep their diaries private. I most remembered my grandmother had a diary, and she wrote her diary in English. She never let anybody know. If only I could open up that diary and read it slowly. Would you take the time? I think I would. It'll be quite interesting. I want to know what people go through. I want to know how much sacrifice. I want to know how much dedication. I want to know how much force. And where's the excitement, and where's the enjoyment, and where's the pleasure? Can you witness excitement? Can you witness the pleasure? Can you witness? You can. Imagine people playing football or basketball. You just sit down there and watch them play. Nobody has the time to sit down there and watch for hours and hours. But when the individual is in that activity itself, they would be constantly keeping themselves busy. So, what is this 24-hour observation? What is this 24-hour observation? But everybody has different personalities and characteristics. How would you observe and try to figure out this and that, right? But I'm not here to talk about all that. I'm here to talk about the entire world is in debt. You owe me, I owe you, countries owing countries. So what is a country owing country? Taxpayers paying. This taxpayers paying is real, man. From electricity usage to water usage to the red letters, tafsiran, cukai tanah, cukai pendapatan. This is real, man. They would chase after you and take legal action. I think those days were more lenient. Those days you can get away with a couple of millions, a few hundred thousands. Those days you can cheat land and whatnot. These days it's getting stricter. And those days there are countries that uphold the integrity. They uphold the honesty. They uphold the quality. They uphold the dignity. And that is what it takes to be a human. That is what it's like to be a human that knows right and wrong. But what is right and wrong, right? Before laws, there were religions. And religions would tell you about a lot of things. The more you understand is not the more you don't know. The more you understand, and the more you will figure how there is truths in it. How does it affect the individual? Yes, how does it affect the individual, and what can the individual do? So what is a privileged individual? What is a responsible individual? What is a individual with power? What is an individual without power? With wealth, with understanding, with no wealth, with no understanding, and everything in between? What is what, right? That's a lot, man. Being 33 in a split moment is like, it's more than just bipolar, schizophrenic. Just a split moment. Everything feels like it's ending. Until I decided to take the chair out and sit down here. This is my view. We've got the children playing out there. They are children that has been abandoned by the parents and been taken over by the church. We've got neighbors, and this is the neighborhood. Right? Now you know my location and you know who I am. Don't have no bad intentions for me, because I've got all the good intentions and hopefully the willpower to carry out the ideas. This loneliness thing, right? You get used to it. Nobody is born lonely. Imagine a child, a baby. They were not born lonely. They had at least mother or father, or the worst case scenario, grandparents. At least someone. And they slowly grow up. Where got total isolation and total disabandonment? At least now I've got my cats. I used to have a dog. Total abandonment. Substance abuse. I couldn't put it into words. I couldn't talk to the camera and upload it to YouTube as it is. I couldn't articulate the words. I couldn't have this personality. I couldn't have evolved. I couldn't have improved. I couldn't have improvised. It takes time. What's the topic, right? It's all jumbling up together. It's all messy and puzzle-like. What I'm trying to get into now, just look at that beautiful sunset. And then suddenly I'll be blasting a song. The sun goes down every day. If had nothing come around, summer love to stay. Rest in peace to the people that's passed away. They didn't know how to talk to their family members and friends. They were in their most desperate of times. They could have been suicide. They could have been died of old age, heart attack, being murdered in prison, being injected with death. There's all sorts of possibilities. Look at the birds. Right? I dream about turning this into a 10-story building. And what if everybody follows suit? Well, if you had the funds, firstly, to pay for persuasion. Why persuasion? You need advisors to work on a plan. You need to persuade the people in power to tell them why is it necessary. And the funds this day, No, I'm not gonna get into debt and owe huge funds for that. And then after that is the fast usages, right? We came from primitive times. Now I know it's modern times. It could be better and better and better. But what's better? Stricter, more responsibility, more relaxation, more intelligence. It's very interesting indeed. Oh my god. My anxiety just rises. Back at that highway, the motorists are just racing down the road. Today's a Sunday. They probably got out to race and relieve themselves. All the loud noises and all the speeding and recklessness. They do not know other forms of expression of such freedom. To speed loudly, to speed fast and recklessly in a huge group. They find joy and excitement with such freedom of vigor. Vigor as in aggression. There's a lot to talk about. And how would I imagine myself? Well, this is my circumstances. I could take a far, far walk away. A far, far walk. It's getting dark already. And we'll get to see the sun go down and everything turn dark. This is more than just a time lapse. Now, I always have concern with myself. Would I look back at a half an hour video? Will I look back at a 1 hour video? Because if I don't look back at my own recordings, then what for I created in the first place? And imagine hours and hours of artistic work, be it welding, be it cutting metal, be it woodworking, be it carving, be it anything in life. And if you record it, you get to observe yourself in action. And if you don't record it, you're living the moment doing something for a very long concentrated time. And come to think about it, there have been concentration camps and sweatshops. Did somebody force them? Yes and no. Depends on the situation. Very interesting indeed. I've got a lot to say just now. I've got a lot to think. You know, if you look into something, it could be a problem or you could leave it as it is. That's why they say, let it be, let it be. Speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Yeah, you can let things be. You'll tire out and go to sleep. And you wake up hungry. And you can't let it be no more. How long can you hold your hunger in for? You've got to find a way to have food prepared. I'd say just pay the 5, 10 ringgit currency here in Malaysia and go get someone prepared delicious meal for yourself. Or if you're hardworking enough and you got the funds, you're going to buy the ingredients and you're going to cook it yourself. But what is there eating all alone? Loneliness. We've got YouTube, and a lot of people are struggling with loneliness. If people are not struggling with loneliness, good for you. You've got family, you've got friends, you've got companions, you've got pets. Loneliness is just... The first concept of loneliness I had was watching the Superman cartoon. So the Superman cartoon is about the evil villain that has annihilated the entire human population. And there is no more evil in the world. He's committed the ultimate evil to eliminate everybody else. And he's alone. And he collected all the books to study knowledge and created energy and whatnot. Now that's an evil villain willing to live on forever, and we have stories about Cain. Cain, not from Tiberium's son or Tiberium Wars. Cain from the Bible. But Cain is not alone. And what about Cain again? Oh, living forever, a long, long life. Living for hundreds and thousands of years. So the evil villain constructed mega fortresses and whatnot with the knowledge, with whatever's that's left, mechanical and ingredients and components and materials. But Superman traveled into the future and met the supervillain. I don't know the supervillain's name. It looks like Lycan from Dota 2. So Superman, being Clark Kent, the Asian-looking Caucasian, talked to him, and the villain willingly, happily sent Superman back to stop the evil villain itself in the past to not commit what is done in the future. Time traveling. And when it comes to time traveling, I talk about Red Alert, Yuri's Revenge, time traveling. And then we have a few other cartoons about time traveling. Time Squad or something, with the Shaolin monk and the little centipede-like dragon. All these imaginative characters. And I remember watching cartoon, very funny cartoon, this stupid American cartoon. I was like standard 1, 7 years old. My class started in the afternoon. And I would just watch that stupid cartoon and laugh and laugh and laugh. These American cartoons just make me happy and laugh. Watching the Disney Slicing the Bread, Jack and the Beanstalk, Mickey, Goofy, and I think it's Donald Duck. This is the trio. Jack and the Beanstalk traveling to the giant fortress in the sky. That made me laugh like mad. I enjoyed watching it again and again until I got bored of it. Until I don't find the humor in it anymore. And then watching this cartoon when I was standard 1. What year was that? Standard 1 means I'm 7 years old. Now I got to do reverse mathematics. I'm 33 this year. 7 make it 10. 33 make it 30. So that's 20 years. Extra 3 years for the 33. 23. Extra 3 years for being 7. 26 years ago. Now let me get this right. 26、23、31、33. Yeah, when I was 7, which is 26 years ago. And 26 years ago was the year 2025. Wait, it's 2026. 26 years ago was the year 2000. So anybody help me fact check? The year 2000, 26 years ago, around afternoon 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. or maybe 1 p.m. Cartoon on the television, American cartoon, about rubbish bins. So I don't know who's the character, right? I think it was the father and garbage bins. And he went to every garbage bin to do not do what? I was laughing my ass off until I was living the life. And this cartoon about Goofy smoking and smoking and smoking and getting chain smoking and getting mind fucked into chain smoking. That was disturbing. All these scary rabbit holes and scary spiral downwards into the endless hole. But it's not endless. We get to find out the core of the earth. And how deep is the core of the earth? And if gravity is so strong, it pulls you to the core of the earth, but not directly to the core, just right next to the core. And the gravity is so strong until you can go until almost the other end and come back like a swing, It's like, it's so far and strong that you're swinging and swinging and swinging. You're going down and up and down, North Pole to South Pole, east to west. That kind of insanity, man. This mindfuckery is beyond. And then after that, all this scary ass mindfuckery, man. It's like how things are the way they are. Is it written already? They say they believe in takdir, they believe in fate, 缘分. 缘分 is a very nice thing. 缘分 is something good. But takdir and fate is like the numbered days of fated, not possibilities, but rather stagnant, written. Because they want to say that light travels to Earth and to other places, and by the time light reaches there, everything has already been played out. But I still believe in the free will. And it's still so scary because am I the only one being able to talk like this? Because if someone talks and talks and talks and another person listens and listens and listens, the talkative person can go on talking. And the listening person will get totally bored out and fed up. Because you're going to ask questions and you're going to agree on stuff. You're going to disagree on stuff. You want to know what are the interests and how does the story benefit you. This is called a give and take. This is called the mutual interests and mutual agreement. The mutual obtainable. The mutual obtain. The mutual perception. Perceive. The mutual perseverance. That is getting fucked up. Now all my neighbors are leaving, I don't know, for dinner or something. You know, I don't like this location, right? Location is key, Commander. Packed up and good to go. New location, Commander? My cousin really wanted to play Red Alert that time. I don't know, I was so selfish. Can't I just be more generous and have another player enjoy Red Alert until we can afford 2 computers to link up with LAN? And you know, got my PS1 destroyed by my cousin. Man, we're all fucked up. We're selfish. And we're in our own world. And we're happy with our single player world. Right? Playing Final Fantasy, that stressful moment. Rushing towards tuition. Trying to get my chocobo level up. That stressful night moment where I can live into the nighttime and play PS1 and my grandfather says, "You better off that thing or I'll destroy it." Rest in peace, man. You learn from all this and you evolve if you remember. You get to write down the hypothesis. You get to write down the conclusion. You got to write down the experiment. It's not an experiment. It's candid. It happened just like that. And it's ingrained in memory as you flash back and play the video in your mind. Play about the incident and situation. So yeah, it's getting nighttime already. This is my neighborhood. I'm gonna get more chairs and whoever wants to hang out over here and talk about stuff, right? I missed that chance when I was like what? I was already making friends when I was in Dedica, man. 立球幼儿园啊，幼儿园啊，立球孤儿院啊 Dedica Lekir, Dedica Wesley. I don't want to leave this place because first off, I don't want to start somewhere new. I have to work from scratch. I'm more of a leverage guy. As you can see, I talk a lot. And the work I put in, it doesn't make sense. I can wear out so easily. And I'm gonna need the equivalent of 24 hours sleep for a 24-hour day. Because nobody stays awake for 12 hours and go to sleep for 12 hours. Most likely how you divide the 12-hour time, let me see. Waking up at 6 or 5 a.m. Go up until the day until 9 or 10 p.m. and go to sleep from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. That used to be my lifestyle. I remember school was stressful on the first day. We met friends. Education was fun. I bullied a lot, fight a lot. And I was a very shy person. Puppy love, they call it. But I remember being at the age of 7 or 8. I already yearned to have a girlfriend and a love life. Most of it didn't work out until I gave up and tried to decide I focus on financials. I can't get nothing right. As I see my life, it's more like a spiral downward moment, but it has been quite a journey, and I'm not disappointed with it. There are times where I've been tested greatly, especially during prison and the mental institute. Other than that, the fights were quick. The sufferings were quick. Prolonged sufferings, that is the time of challenge. It's like being a Jew in a Nazi concentration camp. Being a Jew in a concentration camp, you don't know what it's like. I saw videos, man. They talked about the experience, the constant fear for death, the constant fear of this and that. I know what it's like, man. And I go out to meet people around my vicinity. He couldn't change lives. So it's been half an hour now. I think I should take a break and take a look at this video and see how it is. 5G speeds versus upload speeds of 20 megabytes per second. Or is it 100 megabytes per second? And 100 megabytes per second equals 1000 megabytes per second. In 10 seconds is 1 gigabyte. I don't know, man. I used to be so sharp until I just don't give a fuck anymore about anything. I know what it's like to be young, but as reckless or as carefree or as stressed out, there are many people living many lives. Alright, this is 28 minutes. I'm gonna look back. That's 28 minutes of watching this video again.